I'd like to ask you all to close your eyes. Close your eyes. I want you to picture yourself with your childhood best friend, the one that you swore you'd never lose. Imagine maybe you're building a fort out of couch cushions, or you're plotting your next adventure, or maybe even just rushing to a landline, remember those, just to pick up one of their calls. Now open your eyes. Back then, they were your world, your partner in crime, your keeper of dreams. Now imagine where you are today. Are they still your BFF? Or have you both grown into lives that don't quite fit anymore? Hands up if that stings a little. Hands up if it feels a bit like freedom too. Most of us feel a mix of both, I guess. And we're told that it's important to hold that bond tight, our tribe, our ride or dies, and never let go. But what if that's too narrow? Now, the Greeks call real purpose eudaimonia. That's flourishing. It's a life that's bigger than us, built by serving each other and those who come next. And as a journalist, I've learned that the real stories are outside of old promises. And my Yoruba roots say the same. Destiny is a shared past, and our friends guide us there. So maybe not belonging isn't losing, it's how we grow into our bigger why. Now, social media promises connection. Hundreds of friends stacking up on our photos makes us feel good. But Aristotle broke friendship into 3 levels. We've got utility, the practical ones, pleasure, the fun ones, and then we have virtue. That's the ones that make us better. And online, we're stuck on the first 2. And these algorithms, they feed us echoes. They're the same views, same lives. We form parasocial bonds, watching influencers like their friends, feeling close to them without them even knowing us. And what about our real friends? Our real friends, do we check in on them as much? Going on their Instagram pages, we skim through highlight reels, their vacations, their wins, their perfect smiles. It's never the mess. It's comfortable, but it's shallow. Our brains can handle about 150 real bonds, and that's a concept proposed by the English anthropologist Robin Dunbar in the 1990s. But my Instagram has way more than like 5,000. Remember when phones were actually for calling? Now dialing a friend feels harder for me than filing a breaking news story on a deadline. I saw this play out in real time when my sister got hacked on Instagram. One day, her stories were flooded with extravagant cars, urging her followers to invest money on her behalf. So, like, give me £3,000, I can flip it. And listen, my sister does work in finance, so it's not a major shock. She probably could flip money. However, if you know her, she doesn't flaunt material things. She flaunts experiences. The holidays, she's there posing, but she doesn't post pictures like that. So I knew something was up. I called her immediately to check and find out. But here's the thing. Other people who hadn't spoken to her for a few years, they believed it. They messaged her, and some of them almost fell for the scam. And that's what happens when your connection is only through a screen. And that's a moment that hits hard. We think we know people because we see their posts, but social media only gives us a version of them. A curated, surface-level highlight reel. Real connection? That happens when we take a moment to reach out. So maybe think about your own feeds. If one of your closest friends started posting, flashy cars or something out of the ordinary, would you notice something was off? Or would you just scroll past? But of course, life exists outside of our devices. And before we know it, it can get real very fast. Last summer, I lost one of my closest friends, my grandmother. She was my haven. We had beach days. We used to groove to pop music. and I used to sneak her extra ice cream. When she died, grief hit hard. The world became quiet. But that's when my Auntie Vera and my Auntie Winnie stepped in. They're her best friends. One's 99, one's 96, and they were full of life that I'd overlooked. But they didn't just call. They said, "We're going to Guyana, come along." So there I was, a very different type of girls' trip that I was expecting that summer. But we landed. And when we landed, they got up early, they prayed, they helped locals, and they even sent me to the rainforest, to the Amazon rainforest as well, to Kaitra Falls, which was gorgeous, stunning rainbows. And they'd ask me questions. "Why do you rush so much? What's that phone doing for you?" And I'd smile, and I'd say, "That's a good question." It's a good question. And I'd listen. And one night over stew, Auntie Vera, she laughed so hard, she almost fell off her chair, telling stories about her life in Guyana, in London, in Tanzania, her stories of moving countries, raising families, loving, losing, and even a helicopter ride when she was, just a year before, when she was 98, which lit me up. As a journalist, I'm trained to dig. These are questions unlock our world. And science says that growth doesn't just occur through comfort, but through challenge. And Auntie Vera and Auntie Winnie didn't let me sink, but they pulled me forward. The sun, the food, the laughter. It brought my grandmother closer, and it showed me a me that I'd missed. Unconventional friends aren't a sidebar, they're the lead. But how do we find them when these screens dominate? I've even got one in my hand. Adult friendships don't come easy as school days. Our brains crave real connection. Face-to-face matters. But the phones, they pull us away. And journalism taught me curiosity opens doors. So the first step is to put the phone down and to look up. Singing's always been my soul. I singing, talking now, kind of. And I'd always built for my family, my friends, and pretty much anyone who'd listen. So maybe later I will. But I recently joined a choir, and most people in the choir have grandkids. We bond over life and song. And in one rehearsal, an older guy grinned and he said, "You sing like you mean it. Don't stop." And I said, "Yes, of course." You know, they've got years on me, but we learn from each other in every note. When we're present in life, opportunities unfold. When I was 19, in a moment that seemed small, it was a casual chat with an event coordinator about life, dreams, and challenges. That chat opened an unexpected door. We were in a lift after a student event at a major broadcasting studios, and a senior journalist had overheard our conversation and offered me my very first big break. And moments like that don't happen when you're glued to screens. It's when you're connected to humanity and you're experiencing life. So imagine a world where we don't cling on to old circles, but we stretch them. Where a 25-year-old and a 99-year-old can share share laughs in a tropical breeze. Where a curious chat at an event can open a career door. Knowing someone isn't just liking a post on their Instagram, but really showing up for them. That's eudaimonia. Not just our flourishing, but a purpose that's bigger than us. Built in spaces between us. And my grandmother's passing could have closed a chapter, but my aunts turned that to a bridge to her and to a new me. Its life expanded, not shrunk. Journalism's taught me to ask, but they taught me the answers to build a life. So here's my last hands up. Who's one person unexpected that you'll reach out to today? Not to fit in, but to step out. Because in the end, not belonging isn't about being lost, it's about expanding. The best stories, they're not found inside the circles that we cling to. They're waiting just outside of them. Thank you.